There are some people who think that Audi never make mistakes. To them, the Latin definition of Audi is perfect in every way. The problem is that the A3 has been around for more than 10 years. And some of these people think this new one is simply not as good.
Well, some people might say that the materials are not as good in some parts of the car as the one before. Small things, like the glove compartment that now has a plastic opener rather than an aluminium one. Others will lament over things like fake exhaust pipes. You know what? I say to them, who cares? The world's going to end soon anyway. Besides, name me a car that is as well built today as it was 10 years ago. What? A-class? Right, well now you've ruined it.
The point I was trying to make was that in modern times, cars are different, and so are the needs of the consumer. Where Audi may have taken something away in one area, they've actually given us something else in another. Enough to keep us all very interested.
This typical A3 has no more power than a Ford Focus. It has a 4-cylinder engine, rather like an ordinary Golf, and it has less room in the boot than most of its competitors. But you'll still want one.
An example of what you're getting now includes mild hybrid with clever cylinders with the auto, 150 horsepower from this 1.5 petrol, which, to be fair, is enough considering we're not really even allowed out the house. A new virtual cockpit and a new touchscreen, all of which consistently adding to the world-famous desirability.
And whilst I say that, and it is true, personally I'm not the world's #1 Audi fan. Just to, I've got something completely different. One thing that I do though, is I always look at other people's Audis. All the time. Oh, that's a nice one.
But is it all just about looks? And does this new A3 fall short where the old one did in certain aspects of driving? Or with the onboard technology, which, in my opinion, was not very good? So let's see if both things have changed. Let's firstly cover the MMI.
To get this infotainment system a few years ago, you'd have needed to spend something like £60,000 or £70,000 on an A8. Now, of course, it's free, and so is the virtual cockpit, which is very nice. You've got over-the-air updates now, so what you don't like about this system possibly might be changed over-the-air automatically, like as if it's magic. There's now also some handwriting recognition, and of course, it's 10 times faster than the last one. Interestingly, there is a couple of other things. There is no rotary dial to control it, which some people hate. There's also here a lovely dial to turn the volume up and down. Some people think that that's rubbish. I don't. I think it's very nice. Very soft moving your hand around. Anyway, regardless of all of that, it's probably best just to use the steering wheel controls, including the newly improved voice, which I am interested to test.
On first impressions of driving, I thought this was good. This one was on the 18s, and whilst you should choose your wheels and tyres carefully if you use the motorway a lot, around town this was unexpectedly quiet. It also now has safety features like lane departure and pre-sense front systems designed to warn you of hazards. They're free. It doesn't, however, have what a Golf has, which is adaptive cruise and automatic braking. You can have it, but it's an option. Right, where were we? Yes, voice recognition.
So the reason I have never got rid of my car is simply because of the voice commands. So intuitive. Whatever I say, it understands. I don't have to go through sub-menus, so enter address or find a point of interest. Obviously I can do that, and I don't have to say, hey, brand name, right, for it to do anything. I now just press the button and away I go. Now, Audis have never been able to do that until now. Starbucks.
You can now say additional search terms or select a line number.
That's fixed. That whole Audi's not very good navigation has completely, I like that. And you also get now arrows here in your virtual cockpit and also here on the screen, and audio ones. Before we do the handling, let's have a look and see how much they are. Now, obviously, this isn't the Vosbrong version, which is amazing. This is just the standard, everyday, 150 horsepower one, right? So, Leasing.com, this to me is a bit like car porn. I spend hours just selecting the different cars and models, see how much they are. Let's have a quick look though. 1,300 deposit, 227 a month, 241 a month, 215 a month. Is there a low deposit one? Here we go. £228 a month, £686 advance rental. Nothing to pay at the end, right? You just hand it back. That is surprisingly low for something that looks as good as this. That is almost, it may as well just be an ornament for that kind of money. Now, stick it on the drive. It's not expensive, is it?
Roads for you now, mainly quiet in most places.
Oh.
There are just a couple of issues.
There's the travel. I don't know how to switch that off. I like getting the BBC travel now and again when I'm driving. Always good to know about the burst water mains.
Now, it goes without saying that these prices obviously do not include other bits of technology such as these matrix LEDs that automatically activate or deactivate your high beam. They also make a shape around the car in front so as not to dazzle the driver in front, and on darker roads they will light around corners and even widen at intersections or junctions. You can have part of that system for about £100, or the full functionality or matrix LEDs for £675, which, to be fair to Audi, is quite cheap, especially as they significantly transform the car.
So does this interior light pack, which is very good. You've got lighting here, and then obviously if you have opted to put your phone on charge, you can do that in the lit area, right? You've got 5 different scenes that you can light, which are twin colour, which is lovely. And how much would you say this is as an option? £1,000? It is an interior light pack. Wrong. £110. Thanks, Audi.
One disappointing thing about the interior during the day is that it is quite dark and there are no choices for lighter materials inside or roof lining. But if that bothers you, there is an opening pan roof for an additional £1,055.
Just doing a little turn round. Yesterday I was having a right faff trying to park this because it doesn't have a reverse camera. Not that much vision, but I'm kind of used to it now. What I was going to say was, because the car looks really good, you've got less window here and then less window there, so you can't actually see anything. And then you've got the audio parking signal that beeps, but there's nothing visual to tell you where you are. Anyway, I was going to say that. I'm not now going to say it because I'm used to it.
So, to recap then, that's the pan roof added. Cue the matrix LEDs, the ambient light pack, and the comfort and sound pack, which obviously includes a reverse camera. Monthly payment going up a bit, sorry about this. The 10-inch screen though is free, as is the navigation, which learns your voice.
Let's see how accurate it is in terms of the handwriting. You press search from the navigation menu. I want W1.
N.
That was it, right. W.
W.
Right, 1.
I.
Not an I. 1. Is it, you have to do the little...
I.
I? No, I. Oh, seriously? I'm coming round.
Right then, let's have a nosy at the roads. An update on the accident around Blaydon, so it's all been cleared and does seem to be returned.
Should we have a nosy on the roads? That's Adam, that is. BBC, Oxford, Adam's having a nosy on the roads.
As a result of the traffic being back to normal around Blaydon, I was able to get back on the road. Whew, thanks, Adam. If I'm being honest, that's where I found a couple of things. The first was that the car occasionally told me that my hands weren't on the wheel when they were. The other thing I discovered was that I really would rather like the car to stop for me if I really needed it to. But those are small things. I also wanted to test 2 controversial aspects of the old one, namely the numb steering and the suspension, which some felt was just too hard.
We'll come on to the suspension in a moment, but firstly, this progressive steering is really good. This is an option. It's not a very expensive option either, and it means that you get more assistance or less depending on how you drive. In terms of the suspension, you also now have the option to have dynamic or adaptive suspension, a more expensive option and possibly a more unnecessary one. Why? Because this Audi is not bumpy. Big fan of this 1.5 engine. Always liked it since they put it in the 1,000 cars that they put it in. Loved the one before, what was it? It was the 1.4 TFSI, but it did like the fuel. This doesn't. This does 50 odd miles to the gallon. I've seen 48 already and I've been doing just normal driving. So if you go on the motorway, yeah. This could be the best Audi that's a non-sport Audi that I've driven. Easily pleased, mate. Give me a flat bottom steering wheel with an S on it.
Sure, if money was no object, I would immediately get the S3. Be rude not to, really. But obviously, we're all being extra sensible with our money, and therefore, this will do for now, thank you. Put on your LEDs at night and your ambient interior, and I think this will still beat anything in the market, except of course the A-Class, which does have a better interior. Yeah, but that also doesn't look very nice from the front. Anyway, you can watch that review by doing some clicking another time. For now, thank you for getting this far, and if you are worried that this is not as good as the last one, you can worry no more.
The Doobie Brothers, What a Fool Believes, on BBC Radio Oxford. It's Friday afternoon. It's nearly 3 o'clock. The weekend starts in a couple of hours. I can't believe...